Hey, my name's Gary. I'm from bestownerfinancinghomes.com. Hey, I'd like to let you know what the difference is between maybe a straight rental or even a rent to own and what I'm offering as a lease purchase or a rent to own. What I'm looking for is somebody that is able to put down a down payment today, able to afford the rent today, but may not be able to qualify for the mortgage today. And that could be for any number of reasons. Usually it ends up being either self-employment issues. You can't get loans sometimes when you're self-employed without some seasoning, or more than likely it's credit issues. I deal with people with all kinds of credit, different numbers, and I can deal with just about anything. So over the course of time, what we do is we allow them to get their credit back on track. I've got a local company here in the Buffalo area and also a national company that I work with. Both are great. Both would serve you totally good and get your credit back on track. If it needs credit repair, they can help you. If it needs maybe just some credit enhancement, they can also help you as well and get your numbers up where they need to be. So what we do is we'll offer a 1 to a 2 year lease on the properties, maybe a 3 year if you need a little extra time, if your credit's really bad or just need some extra time in general to straighten things out. But usually a 1 to 2 year lease to get everything on track. Then we go to a regular bank, get regular financing, but it allows somebody to get into the property today versus maybe never if they have significant credit issues. So let's go over a few specifics on this. Down payment. So now the down payment, I'm looking for anywhere from 3 to 10% down. So if you're taking, let's talk about a $200,000 house just to make the math easy. So if you're talking a $200,000 house, I'm looking for anywhere from $6,000 down to maybe $20,000 or even more if it's possible. And the reason is once you go to get a regular loan, you're going to need a minimum of 3.5% down to do an FHA loan. And more than likely, you're going to want to be closer to that 10%. Once you get up to that 10%, it opens up a lot of possibilities as far as loans, what's available, cheaper rates. So I want to get you as close to that 10% as possible. Now, usually to get you in the door, we're going to need at least that 3%. But over the course of the 1 to 3 year lease that we're going to do, we can get you closer to that 10. Maybe we do some extra payments towards the down payment at tax time. Maybe tax time work bonuses are great times to put a little extra towards your house. I even have an equity enhancement program where I'll match 50% of whatever you put towards a house. So if you're putting $100 towards a house, I'll match it with $50, so $150 total will go towards the down payment of the house. You can build up some equity pretty quick and get closer to that 10% mark. So let's see, what can we do? So number one, if you're not on my website right now, go to my website, bestownerfinancinghomes.com, opt in. That's the best thing you can do right now. Opt in because that's going to show you all the properties I have available now, but it's also going to give you a chance to see the properties first before I send them out to the general public. So opt in. It's not going to cost you anything. You don't need a credit card or anything. I just use it to send it out to my buyers list first. So you'll get first pick at it. Once you find a property you like, give me a call. We'll get you set up with an appointment in there. They're usually really easy to get into. A lot of times they're vacant. I've got them on a lockbox. Very easy to get into these houses and see them. And when you're there, you're going to see an application there. And if you don't, I can email you one. But there's going to be an application. It's called a next step form. So if you're interested in that house, or even if you're not interested in the house, take one of the forms because you can fill it out. And when one becomes available that you're interested in, I'll already have the form filled out for you. So take the next step form, fill it out, get it back to me, especially if you're interested in that property. Once you get that next step form back to me, I'll review it, give you a call. We'll talk about some specifics and see if it's a fit for both of us. If it is, what we'll do is we'll set up a buyer's meeting. We'll sit down face to face, we'll have a cup of coffee, whatever whatever works for both of us. Maybe we'll meet at the house, whatever works for both of us. But we'll meet face to face. We'll go over some specific numbers, what you can afford, what you can't afford, what you need, what needs to happen during the whole process. And if you're comfortable with it, we'll sign like a little document, just a little letter of intent, I guess it is. And what we do is we take that letter of intent to our attorney, and the attorney prepares all the paperwork. And then within about a week or so after, we sit down at the closing table with the attorney, and you sign all the papers there, and the house is yours at that point. So beginning to end, we're probably looking at maybe a 2 to 3 week process, depending on the house. If it's vacant, it goes a little quicker. If it's occupied, it may take a little longer. So, but it's a fairly quick process. Couple bullet points. Once we get the next step form, things move pretty quick. But if we're deciding to take the next step beyond that, where we're doing the buyer's meeting, I have a credit repair team, a national team that I'll give you the address to. You'll have to call them up, maybe fill out an application with them. And what they do is they pull your credit and they do a background check and verify your jobs, stuff like that. But I'm not worried about the credit. But what it does is give me a snapshot of what you need to do. So, and he can tell me, look, it's going to be 6 months before you're mortgage ready, or it's going to be 12 months or 18 months. They'll tell me. So then I know how to structure the deal for you to set you up for success. And then once you call them and we get that application back from them and the go ahead from them, we'll sit down with all the numbers, fill out all the paperwork, that letter of intent we talked about. I'll need a small retainer deposit at that point. So it goes towards the down payment. 100% goes towards the down payment, but we're probably looking at anywhere from maybe $500 to maybe $2,000 down at that point. We'll quickly go to the attorney within a week or so, probably less if they have time available. Go to the attorney, sign all the paperwork. At that point, the rest of the earnest money, the rest of the down payment money will be due at that time. So you're going to need to bring the rest of the down payment money. We're also going to need to bring the first month's rent. That'll be due on day one. And then the third and final thing you'll need is a check for the attorney. At the time of this filming, I think the attorney fee was $350, but we'll check that before you go there. But it's going to be either $3 or $350. I'm not positive yet. So, and those are the three things. And once you pay those three things, we do the signing. You get the keys right then, and you're moving into your new home. Let's see. I think that's about it. So other than that, it's pretty straightforward and simple process. It's a lot easier than you would think. It just takes some discipline as far as improving your credit, improving your situation. I work with you hand in hand. I'm here for any questions for you. We've got our credit team helping you along the way the entire time. I've got mortgage brokers that we can go to after this if needed, if you don't have your own banks after this. It's a very easy process. It just takes some time for people, and it's easy to get a nice little step up and get into home ownership. So, all right, hopefully that answers some questions, and circle back around to me if you are really interested in the properties that you want to see, and we'll get you into one of those properties and start the process. All right, thank you.